You know, sometimes I've often said this, chums, the things that really annoy me are the lack of business acumen with people that really do ask you to fund certain things. You know, you see this non more so in the world of theatre. Absolutely useless, in my opinion. You see so many productions coming and going. And I think I told you recently about Nicole Scherzinger, the former Pussycat Doll. Lovely girl, nice voice, etc. But that particular production of Sunset Boulevard, of which I always said, if you remember, I thought she was way too young to play the demented Norma Desmond. You know, she did need somebody of a certain age. Glenn Close was wonderful, Petula Clark was brilliant, Elaine Page. You had to be of a certain era. Rita Moreno, with a picture here. I saw her and we became good friends, in fact, myself and Rita, when she was starring as Norma Desmond at the Adelphi. You had to, you know, Nicole Scherzinger, too pretty. Not stunned to find, of course, that that particular show did not make a profit. In fact, it lost a lot of money. And you would say, why? Well, they didn't really know how to market it. And this is the problem. I would suspect the same with Evita in London. Great balcony scene, whingy Disney princess with Rachel Zelga, but nonetheless, you know, could have made a lot more money. It's a little bit like this particular show, which is doing incredibly well so far inside the Savoy Theatre in London, the very heart of London. Simply because, you know, it's about a story that really just warms everybody's heart. Something that everybody can relate to because we've all either had one or we've wanted one. And we're talking, of course, about the lovable bear that is known as Paddington. Brought, in my opinion, completely back to the fore, all thanks to this wonderful lady, our late and brilliant monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. So what's missing? As ever, let me explain. Hi, good to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as ever, welcome one and all. We talked about this a while back, didn't we, about do you still go to theatre? I don't know about you. Genuinely, I look at the prices and think, no, you know, it's very, very expensive. Yes, there are certain elements where you can get, you know, £10 tickets and stuff like that. But, you know, you have to be quite selective. You have to be sure there's no marchers on. And how safe is it on a night time now going into an area like London and thinking, is this safe? You know, that's what I think. You know, I'd always now go for a matinee. We're not old fogies for thinking that. You have to think of your protection, because coming out of a theatre at night, a little bit distracted, warm, rushing to get your tube or your bus, think about it. However, over at the Savoy Theatre, a wonderful musical has been put together by a former boy band member from McFly, Tom Fletcher. Very talented Tom. You know, you always knew, I remember interviewing him as part of McFly, and you just knew he had more to him than what was actually the band. Not surprised to see this is doing well. It also stars a good friend of mine, Bonnie Langford. I mean, it's just a wonderful, heartwarming musical. I mean, when the bear comes on, you know, it's just, I can't begin to tell you, there's a warmth in the place. Everybody's now looking for feel good, and this certainly delivers it. Just to let you know, I'm not an ambassador, I'm not being paid, I have no investment in it, just to clear that up. I tell you what I think, right? If we didn't like it, you'd know, right? But here's the thing that I think they've truly missed a trick, because as I said, at the Platinum Jubilee, for me, the biggest element of that whole celebration was taken away by this wonderful lady, Queen Elizabeth, in that cameo with Paddington Bear. You know, it is just the best thing I would probably think she did to show us her human side. She just broke through on so many levels. The story goes she wanted to do something so that her grandchildren could see her in a warm, fuzzy side. And maybe, you know, we all know she knew exactly where things were medically wise. But what I think they've missed a trick at, quite frankly, at the Savoy, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this, is, you know, at the end of the performance, given the fact that really everything, all thanks to the Queen, suddenly had a resurgence in Paddington Bear, including them being included in black cabs and inside Buckingham Palace with Queen Camilla and stuff. Just wonderful. It was her that got so much interest in the investment in this, in the brand. It went around the world. Wouldn't it be nice if they finally showed the picture of Paddington and the Queen and played, of course, you know, the national anthem, just as a mark of respect for what she did. Whether you agree with this or not, I know this is a fact, for what she did in really getting everybody interested in such a traditional British brand, and what a legacy to leave behind. What do you think to that? Would you welcome that? I think there wouldn't be a dry eye in the house. Anybody else agree? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.